Hello everyone, welcome back to Rajeshwari's Commerce and Management Study Hub. I am Rajeshwari here. ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜರಿಯಲ್ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ MBA ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡೀಸ್ ಫೈನಲ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ. ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡನ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಚುಯಲ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಆನ್ ದಿ ಫೈನಲ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೆಟ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ವಾಚ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ಲಿ ವಾಚ್ ದಟ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಟು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಚುಯಲಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್. And question paper also you need to solve to understand the how the question paper pattern is and to analyze the question. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ. ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಸಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 2019 ಕೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಫೈನಲ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸ್. ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್. The following is the trial balance of Mamata Fashion Private Limited as on 31st March 2018. Accounting heads ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್. ಟ್ರಯಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಗಿವನ್. ಟ್ರಯಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ನ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಇನ್ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ನ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಇದು ನೆನ್ಪಡಿ, ಇದು ಬೇಸಿಕ್ಸ್, ಇದು ನೆನಪಿರ್ಬೇಕು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ. ಟ್ರಯಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ಬೇಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀನಿ. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಚುಯಲಿ ಕ್ಲಾರಿಟಿ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆ ವಿಡಿಯೋಸ್ನ ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ವಾಚ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು ವಿಡಿಯೋಸ್ ಲಿಂಕ್. Building 3,60,800, plant and machinery 4,95,000, opening inventory 1,12,500, debtors 1,06,050, land 87,500, cash in hand 4,725, cash at bank 45,500, bills receivable 58,875, purchases 27,07,500, wages 86,970, general expenses 10,252, salary 90,338, bad debt 3,165, interest on term loan 27,000, equity share capital 3 lakh, 10% preference share capital 1 lakh, secured term loan from Delhi Financial Corporation 12%, 4,50,000, profit and loss account balance as on 1st April 2017 39,375, bills payable 55,500, creditors 93,800, sales 31,20,000, general reserve on 1st April 2017 37,500, total is 41,96,175. Adjustments are given. Let us see the adjustments. What are the adjustments? The first adjustment is closing stock. Why closing stock is not given in the trial balance? For this also I have done a video. You can watch that video for your knowledge. Depreciation is to be provided 10%, building and 15% on plant and machinery. Interest on term loan is due for 6 months. So 6 months interest is due. That means only 6 months is paid. You need to calculate what is the total interest on the term loan. Term loan ಮೇಲೆ total interest ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ 6 months ಡ್ಯೂ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 27,000 ಹಾಫ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಪೇ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ 20 ಫರ್ದರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 6 months. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ doubtful debt are to be provided for rupees 3,000. Outstanding wages 8,030. Directors want to provide 10% final dividend. Income tax 30,000. Reserve fund 25,000. Prepare income statement and balance sheet as on 31st March 2018 in vertical form. So vertical form ಅಲ್ಲಿ income statement ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾವು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ನ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ಯಾವ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದಿ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ ಹೆಡ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್, ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್. ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗು ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್, ಸೊ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮೆಷಿನರಿನು ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್. ನಾವು ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಟೋಟಲ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಡಿಪ್ರಿಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ನ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀರಿ. ಓಪನಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ವೆಂಟ್ರಿ COGS ನ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ರೆವಿನ್ಯೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ COGS ನ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಲಾಸ್ ಸಿಗೋದು. COGS ಅಂದ್ರೆ COGS ಮೀನ್ಸ್ opening inventory plus purchases plus direct expenses minus closing stock is COGS. Debtors will be shown under the balance sheet. Land, balance sheet. Cash in hand, balance sheet. Current assets under current assets, because current assets minus current liabilities you will get net current assets. So that is why cash in hand, cash at bank also comes under current assets. Bills receivable, current assets under balance sheet. Purchases, as already I said, this will be shown under the COGS under income statement. COGS. Wages, COGS for direct expenses, we are adding this wages. General expenses is, it is operating expenses. Salary is operating expenses. Bad debt, operating expenses. Interest on term loan, non-operating expenses. Non-operating expenses, that you need to find out the whether this is a complete interest, full interest, or the half interest, because 6 months due is there. Then equity share capital. Share capital will be recorded in the balance sheet. Preference 10% preference share capital, shareholders fund, under that secured loan we have, under that balance sheet we are showing profit and loss account. This is shown in the income statement. Once you get profit after tax, to that you are adding the profit and loss account. Bills payable is current liability, creditors current liability, sales will be shown under the income statement. General reserve is shown under the balance sheet, reserve and surplus. Now adjustment whatever it is given, it should be treated twice. ಎರಡು ಸರಿ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇನ್ವೆಂಟ್ರಿ, ಇದು ಕ್ಲೋಸಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಕು ನಾವು COGS ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಅದೇ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಜೊತೆ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಡಿಪ್ರಿಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಸ್, ಇದು ಡಿಪ್ರಿಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ನ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ, EBIT ಅಂಡ್ ಡಿಪ್ರಿಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ನ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಡಿಪ್ರಿಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ನ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಲೋನ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಫಾರ್ 6 months, ದಿಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಶೋನ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದಿ non-operating expenses, interest. Doubtful debt are to be provided. Doubtful debt operating expenses ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಡೆಟಾರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಔಟ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ವೇಜಸ್, ಆಪರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ವೇಜಸ್ ನ ನಾವು ಔಟ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ವೇಜಸ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀರಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವೇಜಸ್ ಜೊತೆ COGS ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ 10% ಫೈನಲ್ ಡಿವಿಡೆಂಟ್, ಇದು ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀರಿ. ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀರಿ. ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಪ್ರಾಪ್ರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಇಂದ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಅಪ್ರಾಪ್ರಿಯೇಷನ್, ಒನ್ಸ್ ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಅವೈಲಬಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಅಪ್ರಾಪ್ರಿಯೇಷನ್, ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಮೈನಸಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಫೈನಲ್ ಡಿವಿಡೆಂಟ್, ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್, ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಫಂಡ್. ಇದು ರಿಸರ್ವ್ಸ್ ಜೊತೆ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀರಿ, ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. So these are the adjustments. Let us solve this problem. Always you have to start with the working note. Working notes. First, let us prepare the cost calculation of COGS. For COGS, first what we are doing, opening stock na add ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಓಪನಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಎಷ್ಟು? 1,12,500 ಓಪನಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಕ್. ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ವಿತೌಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್. ಸೊ ಟೇಕ್ ಎ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ಶಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್. Once again I will show the question. Take a screenshot of the question, then solve the question. Or if you have the question paper, then it is okay. It is 2019 paper. Now we are solving. Opening stock is 1,12,500. To this you are adding purchases na add ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Purchases 27,07,500. in case purchase returns ಇದ್ರೆ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೆಟ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ನ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ವೇಜಸ್ 86,970. ಔಟ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ವೇಜಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಔಟ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ವೇಜಸ್ ನ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಔಟ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ವೇಜಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು? 8,030. ಟೋಟಲ್ is 95,000. Now if you add opening stock, purchases, direct expenses, wages is a direct expenses, no other direct expenses are given, so it is to 28,02,500. From this you are minusing closing stock. If you minus 1,35,000, The COGS is 26,67,500 is the closing COGS after minusing the closing stock. Next let us calculate the operating expenses. Operating expenses na calculate ಮಾಡೋಣ. General expenses 10,252. Salary 90,338. Bad debt, there are two bad debt. One bad debt is given in the trial balance, that is we are not treating it twice, only the given in adjustment ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾತ್ರ doubtful debt is be provided. Doubtful debt will be treated twice. Doubtful debt 3,000. Total operating expenses is 1,06,755. Then depreciation. Depreciation on building 10%, 3,60,800 into 10% is 36,080. Plant and machinery 4,95,000 into 15% is 74,250. Calculated depreciation, then total depreciation is 1,10,330. Once we get GP, operating expenses, after minusing the operating expenses, from that EBIT and D we will get. From that depreciation should be minused. Okay. Then non-operating expenses. Non-operating expenses. Interest on term loan. Interest on term loan 4,50,000 into 12% is 54,000. Out of 54,000, already paid interest is 27,000. Outstanding interest due interest 27,000. So total you are showing 54,000 in the interest. It is non-operating expense. Then gross block. Total assets, fixed assets total we are taking. Plant and machinery is 4,95,000. Building 3,60,800. Total 8,55,800. One more asset we have, that is land, that also will add 87,500. Total is 9,43,300. Total fixed asset is 9,43,300. So what we have done, first we have prepared all the working out. Now it is easy for us to prepare income statement and the balance sheet. Just we are transferring income statement. Let us prepare the income statement. For the year ended March 31, 18. Revenue is 31,20,000. Revenue is nothing but the sales. From this you are minusing COGS. Already we have calculated COGS. What is our COGS? 26,67,500, that we are recording. 26,67,500. So if you minus, see here, revenue is exceeds the COGS, then the balance is gross profit. Gross profit is 3,40,000. Then minus operating expenses, that also we already calculated. Operating expenses is 1,06,000. 1,06,755. If we minus, we'll get EBIT, earning before interest and tax and depreciation, D, that is 22,33,245. Now from this you are minusing depreciation. Depreciation also already calculated, 1,10,330. Now we will get EBIT. EBIT is 1,22,915. So this you are adding any non-operating income. If it is given, then you are adding non-operating income. It is nil. 1,22,915 EBIT. Now we are minus non-operating expenses. Non-operating expenses, which we have calculated 54,000. Interest, total interest 54,000 minus, we'll get EBT. EBT is 68,915. Now from this we are minusing tax, already given in the adjustment, that is 30,000 tax. ನ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ 38,915. Now previous year balance of profit and loss account, surplus of profit and loss account balance we are adding, that is 39,375 given in the trial balance. Then this will be our profit available for appropriation. 78,290. From this adjustments are given. Appropriations, dividend they said 10% on 3 lakh equity share. 3 lakh into 10% is 30,000 minus reserve fund transfer is given. Reserve fund is 25,000. If we minus these two, 30 plus 20, 55,000. 78,000 minus 55,000 is surplus we have got. This surplus we are showing with the reserve and surplus 23,290. What we have done, first revenue sales na record madri. Net sale idu. If in case sales return is given, that you need to minus it and then you have to record it. From that revenue you are minusing COGS, then you will get gross profit. Then from that you are need to minus operating expenses, then you will get EB80 and D. From that you need to minus depreciation, then you will get EB80. From that you are minusing operating incomes. Any incomes is there, you are adding it, it is nil. EB80, then you are minusing the interest, that is non-operating expense, 54,000. Then you will get EBT. From that if you minus tax you will get PAT, and previous year profit and loss account surplus will be added here. If it is given credit side it's a profit, if it is given debit side it's a loss. You need to understand that. Then your profit available for appropriations will be given. Then dividends you need to minus. These are the appropriation given in the adjustment. Once we are treating here in the income statement, then we are treating in the current liabilities under the balance sheet. Dividends 30,000, reserve fund is 25,000. If we minus, we will get surplus 23,290. This surplus will be shown in the reserve and surplus. With reserves, we are adding surplus also. Let us prepare the balance sheet. Balance sheet for the year ended 31st March 2018. Here we have divided in vertical form. We are preparing the balance sheet. First part is called sources of fund. Sources of funds. Under sources of fund, first item is share capital. Share capital. We have two types of shares. One is equity share. Equity share capital 3 lakh. Then preference share capital. Share capital 1 lakh. Then reserves and surplus we have. Reserves and surplus. Reserve. Old reserve which is given in the trial balance is 37,500. Add reserve transfer 25,000. Surplus is 23,290. Total 85,790. Then this total is called total shareholders fund. Holders fund 4,85,790. After this we have loans. We'll borrow. These are the capital, own capital and capital which are by issuing shares raised. Second one is loan funds. Under loans we have two types of loan. Secured loan, that is 12% loan is there, no term loan 4,50,000. Unsecured loan nil. Total loan fund is 4,50,000. This will be our total sources of fund 9,35,790. This we need to tally in the applications. Now let us take the second part of the balance sheet. Applications means all assets. Applications, under that first item is fixed asset For fixed assets, we need to take gross block. Already we have calculated in the working note. Gross block is 9,43,300. From this you need to minus depreciation, now treated twice, 1,10,330. Net block is 8,32,970. Then second, intangible assets. Assets nil. Work in progress nil. Investments nil. Then we have current assets. Let us continue. Current assets. Under that we have sundry debtors. Debtors is 1,06,050. For that, doubtful debt which we have created in adjustment, that we should be minused. Doubtful debt 3,000. If we minus, we'll get 1,03,050. Then bills receivable. Receivable 58,875. Cash in hand 4,725. Cash at bank 45,500. Closing stock 1,35,000. Treated twice, right? 1,35,000. Total current assets and loans and advances is 3,47,150. Now you need to minus less current liabilities and provisions creditors 93,800. Bills payable 55,500. Outstanding wages, this we are treated twice, 8,030. Dividend 30. Income tax 30. Treated twice, dividend and interest due treated twice, 27,000. Only outstanding interest that you need to take, which is given in the trial balance, you are not taking. This is the remaining balance which was due, that we are considered. Total current liability and provision 2,44,330. Net current asset is current asset minus current liability 1,02,820. If you add with this 8,32,970, 1,02,820. You will get 9,35,790. Our balance sheet tallied. One more item is there, that is miscellaneous expenses. Nil it is. This is total application of fund. Balance sheet tallied. What we have done, first ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಶೇರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸರ್ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಲೋನ್ ಫಂಡ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಬೆಂಚರ್ಸ್, ಲಾಂಗ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಲೋನ್ಸ್, ಬಾರೋಯಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಏನೇ ಇದ್ರೂ ಲೋನ್ ಫಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಶೋ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ದೆನ್ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಂಡ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಇಂಟ್ಯಾಂಜಿಬಲ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್, ವರ್ಕ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಸ್, ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ದೆನ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡು ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೆಟ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಎನಿ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದೇರ್, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆಡ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ದಿ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಂಡ್. ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ದಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್. That is, next question is 2021 question. It is also compulsory case study question. Following is the trial balance of Paresh Shah Limited as on 31st March 2018. Share capital, general reserve, debenture, redeemable reserve. Any reserve, whatever mentioned reserve, then you are adding to the reserves and surplus, to the reserves only. 10% debentures, public deposits, debenture interest paid, calls in arrears. Calls in arrears means due from the shareholders. So from the share capital you need to minus the calls in arrears while recording in the share capital. Purchases 5 lakh, opening stock 80,000, debtors 2 lakh, purchase return 20,000, sales 12 lakh, creditors 30,000, unclaimed dividend 10,000, prepaid insurance 30,000, 10% government loan 1 lakh, land and building 14 lakh, plant and machinery 2 lakh 30,000, bad debt reserve, again one more reserve here 18,000, profit and loss account 1/4/2017 42,000, sales return 25,000, salary and office expenses 70,000. Let us see the adjustments. Closing stock is given 40,000, tax is 50% of the profit, provision for bad debt is 10% on the debtors, proposed dividend is 10% on the share capital, and transferring to general reserve is 20,000. So let us see the under which heads the particular items comes. Share capital, under which head? Balance sheet, right? Under shareholders fund, share capital, general reserve, reserve and surplus, balance sheet, debenture redeemable reserve, reserve and surplus, balance sheet. 10% debentures is loans under balance sheet. Public deposit is asset. Under current assets you are showing debenture interest paid is an expense. Calls in arrears you are minusing from the share capital, balance sheet. Purchases, income statement, that is COGS, opening stock COGS, debtors current asset. Purchase return minusing from purchases, that is net purchase while calculating COGS. Sales is revenue under income statement. Creditor current liability, unclaimed dividend current liability, prepaid insurance is current asset. 10% government loan under loans and advances, balance sheet. Land and building is asset. Yes, you see here 10% government loan, plant and machinery, assets, fixed assets, balance sheet. Bad debt reserve under reserve and surplus. Profit and loss, income statement, you are adding to the profit for the current year. Sales return, you are minusing from sales, income statement. Salary and office expenses, operating expenses. Closing stock will be treated twice, once in COGS, and another in their current assets. Make provision for taxation. Tax you are minusing from income statement, then you are showing under current liability. Provision for bad debt, income statement under operating expenses, and you are minusing from current asset in the balance sheet. Current assets from debtors. That is proposed dividend, cash share capital, proposed dividend, and general reserve transfer. Proposed dividend, one in income statement and current liability, general reserve, income statement, and two adding to the general reserve. Let us solve this problem. I hope you all understood how to treat each item. First, you need to understand what is the question. If you understand the question, answer is, you will get 50% answer if by analyzing the question only. Then remaining thing you can solve easily. Let us prepare first working note. Working note. First we'll calculate calculation of revenue, that is sales. Total sales is 12 lakh. From that minus sales returns 25,000. Net sale is 11,75,000 net sale. In second, we'll calculate operating expenses, prepaid insurance. Prepaid insurance, it is given in the trial balance. So we are treating only under the operating expenses. In case if it is given under the adjustments, then we were treating it twice. Prepaid insurance is 30,000. Bad debt 20,000. That is on 2 lakh into 10%. Salary and expenses 70,000. Total expenses is 1,20,000. Then next we calculate COGS. Opening stock, $80,000. To this we are adding purchases. For purchases, purchase returns is there. So let us write purchases is 5 lakh. From the less returns 20,000. 4,80,000. There is no direct expenses. Minus closing stock 40,000. COGS is 5,20,000. Then we have our non-operating expenses, debenture interest given in the trial balance is 15,000, and outstanding we have to calculate. Add outstanding interest, that is due interest. What is the debentures? 2 lakh. and it is 10% debentures into 10% is 20,000 minus 15,000. 5,000 is the due interest. Then we have interest on government loan. Interest on government loan 10,000, that is on 1 lakh into 10%. Total is 40,000. Total 40,000. Let us prepare the income statement now. Income statement for the year ended 31st March 2018. Revenue. What is the revenue we have calculated? 11,75,000. From that we are minusing COGS. COGS is 5,20,000. Gross profit is 6,55,000. Sales revenue minus COGS will get gross profit. From this we need to minus operating expenses. Operating expenses is 1,20,000. Your operating profit before interest, tax and depreciation is 5,35,000. There is no depreciation is given. Still we need to write in the format. Depreciation is nil. Operating profit 5,35,000. Now if there any non-operating incomes we are adding. There is no non-operating income. Nil. Minusing non-operating operating expenses 40,000. EBT is 4,95,000. From this we are minusing tax. Tax at 50%. 50% is 2,47,500 on profit. 50% on this 4,95,000 into 50% is 2,47,500. Profit after taxes 2,47,500. Now we need to add the balance of profit and loss account. Account 42,000. This is our current profit available for appropriation. Available for appropriations. Appropriation is 2,89,500. Now the appropriation you need to minus less appropriations. Proposed dividend 1 lakh. Transfer to general reserve is 20,000. Surplus is This surplus we are adding with the reserve and surplus 1,69,500. Right. Let us prepare the balance sheet now. Balance sheet for the year ended 31st March 2018. First we are taking the sources of funds. Under sources of fund, share capital. For share capital adjustment is there. Share capital is 10 lakh. There are arrears means due from the shareholders, not received from the shareholders, so that you are minusing arrears 50,000, 9,50,000, and reserves and surplus general reserve 60,000, transfer to general reserve is there. Transfer to general reserve 20,000. Then debenture reserve is there. Debenture reserve 40,000. Then bad debt reserve is there. Debt reserve is there 18,000. Then we have surplus. Surplus is 1,69,500. Total reserve and surplus is 3,07,500. This total will be our total shareholders fund. It is for the shareholders fund is 12,57,500. Now to this loans and long term loans. Under that we have secured loan. Two loans are there. 10% government loan is 1 lakh. 10% debentures is there, that is 2 lakh. Total it is 3 lakh. Now total sources of fund is 15,57,500. Now this amount we are telling, this is our amount from the liability side. Let us do the asset side now. Applications of fund. Applications of fund. Under applications of fund, first we are taking fixed assets. Under fixed asset, gross block we are taking. The total of all fixed asset is called as gross block, 16,30,000 less depreciation. It is nil. No, depreciation is not given, so net block is 16,30,000. Then intangible assets is nil. Investment investments is nil. Then current assets assets and loans and advances. Debtors total is 2 lakh. From that 20,000 doubtful debt should be deducted. 1,80,000. Public deposit is a current asset because whenever you want you can convert them into cash. 80,000. Closing stock is 40,000. Then outstanding interest is due is 5,000. Total asset is 3,05,000. Total current assets and loans and advances. Now current liabilities you need to minus from this plus current liabilities and provisions creditors 30,000 tax 2,47,500 proposed dividend 1 lakh. Net current liability and provisions is 3,77,500. Net current asset is in negative, it is 72,500. Miscellaneous expenses nil. From 16,30,000 minus 72,500. Total applications of fund 15,57,500. Balance sheet tallied. See, this is total sources of fund, total applications of fund. I hope you all understood. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.